Good morning and welcome to this weekly market update from AGM Markets. Today is the 16th of November 2012. What we'll do today is go through some technical analysis on Euro dollar cable, dollar yen, dollar Swiss and gold. Just to kind of review the charts and go through a few setups, what I'm seeing in the markets currently, what I think could happen today and for next week as well. Okay, let's have a look at the Euro dollar chart. Currently what we have, what we've already had this week is a nice bounce off of the 100-day moving average, as you can see, but we are starting to stall. Currently on this current candle here, it's starting to look quite bearish. But I would not be surprised if we did start to pop and bounce back up, because we do have this 200-day moving average, which has been acting as good resistance around here, and then we've got a daily candlestick close above. So odds would be to continue to the upside, but it could be a fake out, and it could come back and close below this 200-day moving average. So today will be a very key day in the markets, I think, especially Euro dollar, to see where this daily candlestick will close. If we shorten it down on the time frames, so let's flip it to the 4 hour here, and you can see that we've been making lower highs here. So you can see that high around there, another high here, another high here. So perfect for the sort of fib traders, really. Let's say we draw one from there to there, down to the lows there. You can see straight away bounce off of that 50%, and it got sold off. And then if you draw a fib, so let's say we draw the new high from here, and this is going to let me do it. Bear me 2 secs. So that's the first dip there, and the second one from lows to highs there. It didn't quite bounce off the 50%, but I think it might have been the 38.2. So we'll delete that one, and now you see the next sort of high, the peak there, from lows to highs, from highs to lows there, and bam, straight off the 61.8. And this is why we look at these two zones. This is why I personally prefer the 50% and the 61.8, because I think they're great for sort of retracements. Really, there's been a clear downtrend on this daily chart, and you can see any sort of strength going into the market has just been sold off by the sellers. So on this daily, you could say that the odds would be to come down and take out the lows. But if we now let's flip it to the 1 hour so we can see a bit. Actually, no, let's keep it on the 4 hour. I'll just zoom in a bit. But you now have the counter fib. So if we now draw from these lows here to the highs, you can now see that we're in this sort of 50% to 61.8% support zone. A lot of people will be buying in between this zone. Some people have already bought off the 50%. Some people may be waiting to buy off the 61.8. You can also see this candle here that I'm just hovering the mouse over. This is a previous bullish sort of hammer where sellers came in and then the buyers came back in, causing that sort of big lower wick there. I'll just zoom in actually so you can see that a bit clearer. You see that candle here, that sort of hammer, and then we've got some buying strength. This is the 4 hour, so we had two big bullish candles there. So we'll not be surprised to see buyers coming in now. However, we are now below this 55 bar moving average on this 4 hour chart, so it is looking quite heavy, I must say. But no, it'd be very interesting. If we get a 4 hour close below the 61.8, then the odds would be to come down and take out these lows at the lows 1 spot 62, no 1 spot 26.62. Sorry. Very interesting time, and it's very technical Euro dollar. That's why it's my preferred pair. Very, very technical indeed. The interesting thing with daily is that normally a nice move like this would be a bounce off the fib, but the reason it hasn't come down to this 50% is because we had this 100 day moving average, and that has supported it. So, but I personally think that the fibs are stronger than the moving averages. So we have bounced off this 100 day, but it's not a very convincing move towards the upside. You can see yesterday's daily candle has a decent amount of upper wick on it, so we could come back. The market looks like it may want to come back down and test this 50%, which would then be a much stronger support zone in my opinion. But that would be very interesting to see. And yeah, the main setup I would have would be that fib that we just drew up there. So I'll just flip it to the 1 hour. You can see on the 1 hour. So it's that fib there from the lows to that highs there. The main swing low to swing high, yeah. You can also see actually in this 1 hour chart we have this 100 bar moving average, which is cutting in between the current candle at the minute. So look out for that 1 hour close. If it does close above the 50% and that 100 bar moving average, then I would not be surprised to go up to. I would not be surprised to see euro dollar go towards the upside. That's the even shorter term look, but that's definitely the setup I have for my charts. Okay, let's have a look at cable. This is the daily chart. In terms of fibs, I can't remember the last time I looked at this one. Yeah, so from lows to highs there, we still haven't come down and tested this 50%. We're kind of getting chopped up in between the 200 day moving average currently, but it is looking quite heavy, especially if you look at this current daily candle. The upper wick is quite long, and yesterday's upper wick is quite long as well. And yesterday we actually closed below the 200 day moving average, so odds for this daily chart I think are down to this 50% zone, which is also previous support around this area here to your left. If you flip it to a shorter time frame, so the 4 hour we've got here, it has been very, very volatile. Nothing very exciting on that 4 hour, and even on the 1 hour it is looking quite heavy. Actually no, if we flip it to the 1 hour, yeah, it's very, very choppy. You can see this 100 bar moving average below that, and also the 55 bar moving average here, so it's kind of bouncing off each of them, closing above and then closing back below. So, but we are making slight high lows here. You can see the higher lows, and that's going to try and bounce up, but not as interesting as euro dollar in my opinion. This is dollar yen. We have a fib drawn up there already. Let's just delete that for you. Yes, on this dollar yen chart, nothing massive interest. That was the fib I was trying to draw up there. That was a bounce off the 38.2. But even so, let's just draw a support line on there. Yeah, so around the 71.43 level, key support, and we've now ripped up towards the upside. There's some big fundamentals out there as well about Japanese easing of the yen, and that's why we have seen yen get absolutely hammered. And the dollar has strengthened against it, so it's been ripping towards the upside. Nothing massively interesting in this chart, to be honest with you. It looks like, it's due a big retracement in my opinion, but you can see these current 4 hour candles. Look at those wicks on those current 4 hour candles above the 81 handle. So it's still looking very bullish indeed, but nothing of massive interest for me. Dollar Swiss on the daily chart. We have trendline support around there, still well off that. Shorter term time frame, we had this fib from down here, so the swing low to those swing highs there, clear bounce off the 61.8% level, and that ripped towards the upside. Brilliant fib move, that very technical. You can pretty much see to the pip there we bounced off that 61.8 and we've ripped up, and I think this fib from lows to highs here, that was off the 38.2 I think, but you can now see we're sort of struggling at the 55 bar moving average here on this 4 hour chart. We did have a nice bounce off the 100 bar moving average there, so very, very technical charts you got here, and this is why you can see I quite like fibs, because they do play out very, very well. But in terms of current setups, if you draw a fib from the lows to the highs, very similar to euro. Remember, euro dollar and dollar Swiss have been completely mirroring each other. So on euro dollar we have that we're currently testing 50%, and surprise, on dollar Swiss we're doing the same thing. We also have that 100 bar moving average as well there. So both setups in play. That's all I keep an eye out for on that chart. Okay then, that's all done for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next week. Have a great week trading. Thanks.